You can do anything in a dress. I should know. Actually, you should know too. This is a story about how a dress has changed my life and tens of thousands of lives around the world. I'm Blythe. I married my best friend Jordan, and we're raising our son Blaire, the love of our life.
And I'm the CEO and founder of Dressember Foundation.
Dressember is an annual style challenge that aims to stop human trafficking around the world. I grew up in Seattle as the youngest of 4 kids. I spent a lot of time alone, and as a result, my imagination and creativity flourished. I loved puns and wordplay. And so there was a time when I wanted to start a quilting business.
I'll call it quilty as charged. I had never made a quilt in my life. Another idea I had was the neck-it, a jacket for your neck. 80% of my enthusiasm is around a good name, I think. I was getting my master's in English at that point, just had no social life, no time for anything, but needed a creative outlet. So I thought, okay, well, I have to get dressed every day, so maybe that's my opportunity to add a little creativity to my life. I decided to create a style challenge where I'd wear dresses every day in the month of December. And I called it, you guessed it, Dressember. And then I did it, and it was fun, but I was cool, did that, never doing that again. But then the next year, some of my friends wanted to do it. And then the year after that, some of their friends wanted to do it.
And I realized at that point, when women I didn't even know were wanting to participate in Dressember, that, okay, maybe people aren't just humoring me. Maybe this is a good idea.
And so then a friend said oh, you should think about turning this into a fundraiser, maybe attach it to a cause. And
my first thought for a long time was just, no way. We're just getting dressed. We're not running a marathon. We're not biking across the country. This is never gonna work.
But I remember thinking if I can help even one person, it is worth looking like a fool to 1,000 people.
If we were going to be online in December with a cause, I wanted it to be something personal, something I understood and cared about. And then I came across an article about a 12-year-old girl in Nepal who was taken from her home by a man who came to her village and promised her very poor parents that he could get her a better life and a job as a maid in India. So this smiling 12-year-old girl crosses the border and is dropped at a brothel where she's violently broken in. And after she stops putting up a fight, she's made to service 20 to 40 men a day. I had never heard anything about human trafficking, and I was physically sick. This girl and her family had trusted this man, and he abused her. And I knew right then that I had to get involved, because I had felt that way too. The reason this issue is so personal to me is because I have my own story of child sexual abuse. When I was around 4 years old, I was molested. I still don't have access to all the memory details, except that my crying is what made him stop. Any survivor will tell you about the years of guilt and shame that comes with being hurt like that, and how you can't help but ask yourself questions like, what did I do wrong to have this happen to me? Can someone love me now? Or do I even matter? But I was born in a place where I had access to support and therapy and years of healing. And I realized not only am I worthy of love, but also if the same resources were there for everyone, recovery like that is possible all over the world. And I also realized that sex trafficking is preventable. Because of my experience of child sexual abuse, I care deeply about the rampant abuse happening to women and girls worldwide. As I've taken a stand for the millions of women and girls who have experienced sexual exploitation, I'm also taking a stand for little Blythe. I've experienced healing, and it's now become my life's work to bring that same healing to others. But it wasn't easy to find a way to do that.
I felt this frustration of trying to fit myself into a box that was not me.
My skills didn't seem to line up with contributing and engaging in the fight in a significant way. You know, I'm someone who's interested in fashion and trend analysis, writing and puns. My skills, my interests started to feel shallow in the grand scheme of things.
And then finally in 2013, which was year 5 of Dressember as a style challenge, I was like, okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna turn this fun, lighthearted thing into a campaign to end sexual exploitation across the world.
And I remember thinking, we're gonna go big, we're gonna aim high, we're gonna try to raise $25,000, which felt like a huge, scary goal. And then we hit my huge, scary goal on the 3rd day of the campaign. And I realized I needed to start dreaming bigger because the few girls wearing dresses for fun had become a global community of over 1,200 women in 32 countries who collectively raised over $165,000 in a month. Seeing my idea outgrow me to the point that I am running to keep up with it, that I can't dream big enough and I'm inviting others to dream bigger with me.
So initially we had one partner, International Justice Mission.
They're the world's largest and leading anti-trafficking organization. They've rescued tens of thousands of people across the world.
And then as we grew, we expanded our partnership network. I think what's been most helpful for me as I lead Dressember is reminding myself I alone am not going to solve this issue. A lot of the best ideas are going to come from outside of myself, and I need to stay open to those. Like I remember the first guy I saw who put on a tie, he used the Dressember hashtag and posted like, I care about this issue too, and I'm trying to raise some money. And I thought that was the best idea. And then we made it like an official part of our marketing.
So I was diagnosed with breast cancer, which meant it was gonna be a long haul of chemotherapy, infusions after double mastectomy. I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to participate in Dressember. I didn't know how I was gonna feel, but my kids reminded me that I could wear a tie. The tie saved me from having to get dressed into a dress, and I embraced that tie.
It's been really fun to see people get really creative. If we have a hashtag, you can do anything in a dress. Like just all these really like empowering things. And it started as like a reaction to like, oh, I would wear a dress, but I have to do X, Y, Z, or like, well, no, you can do anything in a dress and some leggings.
December day 15. Every single day in December, I'm wearing a dress and sharing a fact about human trafficking in order to raise awareness and money for anti-human trafficking efforts.
Hey friends, day 29 of Dressember. I am so thankful for all of the support that everybody's given. It's been amazing. Now it's time to push hard to the finish.
We couldn't believe everything people were doing in a dress. We were changing lives with a simple change of clothes.
We can do anything in a dress.
We're doing something that's a little bit silly to really fight something that's anything but silly. And I think that's a great way to kind of keep it lighthearted because the subject matter is very dark. It strikes a really important balance to make it palatable and accessible for people.
It's a $150 billion a year business by most estimates. The amount of money made every year selling children, with that money you could buy every single Starbucks franchise in the world, every single NBA franchise, every team, and still have enough money left over to send every child in America to college for 4 years.
Human trafficking is absolutely happening in every country of the world. In the US, to kids coming out of the foster system or homeless youth.
I was a really angry kid when I transitioned back to my birth mom. Foster kids, they need someone to paint a picture for them that highlights a different vision than what they've known. But without that, they're vulnerable to people who compose a picture that's malicious.
They're going after the most vulnerable people who don't have anyone, a support system, anybody to care for them.
2009, the economy hit, and then I lost my job. That's when I did meet my abuser. Because I was like 20-something years old down Skid Row. He acted like my boyfriend, and he told me that we were gonna be together, and I had to do what I had to do because I had a felony, and that's how I got trafficked.
Statistically, 70% of women who are trafficked into the commercial sex industry. So that's prostitution, brothels, strip clubs, all of that.
Refugees are extremely vulnerable to trafficking.
The trafficking route from Nepal into India is perhaps one of the largest trafficking routes in the world, with an estimated 12,000 women and girls every year.
I just see myself in those kids. They look like me. I won the lottery by being born in California, Laguna Beach. But I easily could have been that other kid. None of us choose where we're born, but we can choose what we do with our life.
I volunteered as a Chinese-speaking counselor to some women who were arrested for prostitution. Their trafficker will promise them a housekeeping job, but then when they come to America, they don't know what to do because they can't speak the language. Their documents get taken away, so they really feel trapped in their situation.
If someone is able to find a pathway out, there are a number of obstacles. There's a lot of back and forth sometimes for especially a victim of sex trafficking who might have a bond with her trafficker.
I always wondered, well, why don't they tell someone? Why don't they ask for help? But the bond is actually stronger than that of the family, and that's why it is so difficult to reach these victims, because they are brainwashed or otherwise groomed.
I got beat a few times, and then I was trying to leave him, and then he started threatening my family. Dealing with the fact that I was abused a lot. I had a trafficker. My kids wasn't in my life. Sometimes I had to sleep out of Santa Monica because I would have spurts where I was homeless and I wasn't, and I was and I wasn't. When you're in poverty, like, you just want to feed your kid. You just want to put some clean clothes on, and it's hard to do that when you're in poverty, So some people just really just don't have the money to get back on their feet. I had a bag on me, and I had to leave and just wander the streets in LA, or like, sorry, I haven't talked about it in a minute.
Once they get into a safe house, there's still the need for vocational training or some sort of new dream needs to be awakened in them. Part of the complexity of this work is it's incredibly individualized. Everyone is going to handle trauma differently. There are gaps in funding that's available to survivors who want to pursue different vocational paths.
To me, a lot of times that's what the gap is. A lot of the inner city poverty-stricken people are just not educated and struggle, drugs, and so that's all you see all your life. So it's really hard to think anything else.
So we started the Dressember Scholarship Fund to provide unrestricted funding to survivors who would want to pursue anything academically or vocationally. So they could pursue a 4-year degree, they could pursue a certification.
And I'm a Paul Mitchell alumni hairstylist. I just felt powerful. I was just like, wow, you actually did it. You had come from 0 clients to a full-fledged, full-schedule stylist. It was a really great feeling though. Every day I wake up, I'm just happy for no reason.
I care about women and girls and the issue of sexual exploitation because I experienced sexual abuse. What has been so healing for me is, as I've taken a stand for the millions of women and girls who have experienced sexual exploitation, I'm also advocating for myself, declaring that what happened to me as a child wasn't my fault, and it's not my shame to bear.
And I think if anything happened to me, the one thing I would want most is that there would be someone in my son's life that would step in and protect him. And I want him to become a man who protects others.
Of course, having a child just puts so much in perspective because the love that you have for your child is so, it's like nothing else. And I just look at her and I think, I've been doing all of this for her.
How does wearing a dress or a tie make any difference? It's less about what you're wearing and more about why you're wearing it. I mean, people write in every year with these stories of I hate dresses, but I also hate the issue of human trafficking. And so I have been able to reclaim what a dress means.
And here's how you do it. First, set a goal and make a page on Dressember's website. Step 2, wear a dress or tie every day in December. And then step 3 is posting, sharing, and inviting people to join you. We'll give you the tools, the stories, and the statistics to compel people to give and be part of the impact that you're making.
You should give monthly to Dressember, and then you should also do Dressember. So there you go.
Dressember is a month of joining together and putting the fun in fundraising. But the fight against human trafficking is needed every single month. The Dressember Collective is a community of people who want to impact lives all year long, and we need you. Our staff and board and external advisory committee, which is made from survivors of trafficking, have chosen and continue to review where your money can do the most good. So, by giving anything from $5 to $500 a month, you can make an impact all year long. And for a limited time, if you join the Dressember Collective, we'll send you a pin to wear as a badge of honor as a member in this powerful community of changemakers.
So you give $50, it's not just for one person. It's a domino effect. Look at what giving has done to my life.
We are all united by this one cause. The community of Dressember is just, you won't find it anywhere else.
This is a very solvable problem. I have seen it. I have seen countries transformed because of systems changing and closing the gaps where people are falling into exploitation. This is something we can absolutely solve in our lifetime. The dress is our flag. It is the flag of this movement. It is a rallying cry against this injustice that's happening to millions of people. It's a call to arms. To the person thinking that they don't have enough money or enough influence or enough resources to have an impact on this fight, I felt that same way. And we all underrate the things that we do have.
You can do anything in a dress. If we really believe in human dignity, then it's all of us being in this fight and doing what we can to end human trafficking for good.
One person can make a difference. It should be you. Make it you.